another episode. Let's talk about it. It's Queez.
Gio.
And we're going to talk about today some playoff predictions. It's playoff season.
Yes.
Let's go. Playoff season.
Yes.
Finally got through the regular season. This feel like the eternity, but we finally had the playoffs. So we're going to figure out, like, let's start it off. Who you think is going to make their mark on the playoffs this year? Like, who you think is going to become that dude if they haven't been already? Who's going to be the shining star this playoff?
I think, not that he hasn't been, but I think Embiid is going to look real hungry in the first round. I mean, we already know Embiid, like, we know, like, he's been hungry the whole year, but...
You think the whole playoffs, though, or just the first round?
I'm going for the first round because I don't know how things going to shake up as far as the final seedings.
Yeah.
But I think definitely the first round matchup is food.
That's food. So do you think Embiid, no matter who he has in front of him, because we can play around with who they could go up against. Out of the centers that's in that East, so you got what? Who's the center for Brooklyn? They got they switch. That's why sometimes it's Blake, sometimes DeAndre. So let's say DeAndre, Robert Williams for Boston. You have Clint Capella. Mm-hmm. You have Mitchell Robinson. Now, yeah, Nerlens Noel. Mm-hmm. You have I'm trying to think of other players. You got Bam Adebayo. Are they food? Are they all food?
I didn't like that yet.
Are they food?
Bam was pretty aggressive.
You got Cody Zeller.
He's food.
You got Brook Lopez. They food. You think Joel going? He don't got the Horford to worry about this year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
I think it's going to be like we've seen what Embiid can do, but I think there's going to be the playoff stage this time. It's going to be like, oh, this Embiid on the big stage.
Okay. So you got him being like he's gonna be. That's actually a good pick. Mm-hmm. I think the person that's gonna make they mark this playoffs, if you asking me personally, I'm stalling. I need it's two people because it's two people I'm thinking about. It's either gonna be Julius Randle because he has a great season so far, and the other person is the person that he's gonna go up against, Trae Young. These are the two people that I think could have a breakout postseason.
Better picks. And
one, they're going against each other. They probably go against each other the way it's seen out right now, maybe. But they might not. They might actually go up. Let me look at the seed now. Right now, they'll go up against each other right now.
That's actually a fire clash overall. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I feel like one of those two, I think, is going to be make they mark. Because I feel like whatever team win is going to be because one of those players went off for like 40 a couple times.
And
that's what I feel like.
We in perfect, I don't know how you feel about it, but, CDC is like telling people to take their mask off. Like, Atlanta home playoff games can get crazy, yo.
Exactly.
It can get crazy. Exactly. But then the Knicks back in the playoffs and they playing ATL at Madison Square. That's a fire first round matchup.
That's what I'm saying.
Either one of them is.
I think either one of them is going to become the breakout. Mm-hmm. That's for the East. And you got anybody in the West that's going to be a breakout?
I was going to say that's a good pick because either one of them going to win. So like,
that's what I'm
Trae
saying.
has to show out for them.
Exactly.
And then Randle has to show out.
That's what I'm saying. I think one of those.
All right.
Now in the West, do you think who's gonna break out in the West for you?
I don't know who it would be, but I think Devin Booker has to. And it sounds crazy because we know what he's done. He's proved himself, but I think Devin Booker has to have a crazy showing in the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's just me.
I don't think CP3 alone. I think for what he brings to the game is not enough to win. Around like Devin Booker has to give you 30 a couple times. That's a good pick. I definitely could see him showing up. One person I think who actually might make their name, as far as like how the playoff go. It's gonna be a bold pick. It might not even actually make that much sense. But I'm gonna go with Dennis Schroeder. Now, why I say this because you know what you can get from Bron and AD, right? I think there's a level of, because they missed so many games, they might not hit it off right away. Mm-hmm. I think you need somebody to stabilize that to take a load off there, so maybe they don't have to give 2/3 to pull out this game. You need somebody to give another third in there. I feel like Dennis Schroeder, the way if he could create for others, control the pace, give them maybe 15 a game for any round. Even if he does it for 2 rounds, that would be enough to uplift them past that round. I think the third person for the Lakers is going to be the key. And I think it might be Schroeder. Drummond gets into foul trouble every other 2 minutes, so I cannot count on him. So, and Kuzma has disappointed me too many times. I'm going with Schroeder.
Schroeder want that money too.
Schroeder want that money. Playing on a contract.
Everything that happened prior to discussions is out the window. If he show up,
he want that money.
That's crazy leverage.
That's like, what I'm saying.
You don't go into the game like, all right, I gotta play good so I can get a contract. But like, you know what your goal is.
Exactly.
And like,
that's exactly why I picked Schroeder there. So we got who the unsung heroes are gonna be now. Who you think is gonna be most disappointing? Who you think is gonna have a bad playoffs? Out of teams, you know that's in there. I'm gonna kick it off here. I'm gonna give you time to think that through. Philly fan till I die. You know, I ride with the Sixers.
Oh, you already.
Ben Simmons, I think, is not going to have a good playoffs. And I say this because throughout the regular season, he didn't show me he improved his game on the offensive side of the ball. I cannot expect you to then turn up in the playoffs.
Playoffs is way different.
We've been waiting for him to do this every year.
Yeah.
He came back this year. He started taking one jumper every 2 games. You're like, okay, some progress. And then it kind of stopped. And I still have not seen
That's a good pick.
Except the brief explosion during the All-Star break where he had 40 against the Jazz or something like that and 20 a couple games. He hasn't done that consistently enough for me to think he's going to do in the playoffs. So I actually think he's going to have disappointing playoffs.
Even with the league changing, is super, what's the word? Analytical. So analytics people tell the coaches like, yo, y'all should take 10 corner threes because percentage-wise, it's a higher 3. So, work that into your offense. But still, the playoffs is the playoffs. Like, when dudes is, like, slapping the floor and, like, guarding up, like, we got to win. All of that stuff changes. And he's going to shine on defense, of course.
That's what he does.
But it's going to change the offense. He's not just going to... If he proves me wrong, great, because I like the Sixers too.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but you're not just going to drive through the lane and be jumping up and passing, unsure of yourself. And when you're not going to unsure yourself through the playoffs. At some point, you got to play with confidence.
You're 6'8", bro. Like, come on, man. Like, you can.
We need to see that.
We need to see it, man. We need to see it, man.
I don't know,
man. And so that's what we got for the East. Who you think will be missed to point out the West?
Okay, so because of, you know who I'm a fan of. All right, I'm a fan of this guy. I will say that. So I'm a fan of Steph, right? But I don't, and I like what's happened this year. I don't like that they didn't play in. I mean, regardless of the circumstance, I think the opportunity to get criticized is there, meaning.
You don't think they playing with house money?
I think they are. So if they win a couple games, it'll look good. But the Suns, I didn't see that many games on the Suns this season, but the games I've seen have made me realize, oh, they play defense.
Right.
They play defense. So even if they should beat the Warriors, the way he plays in that series can look away.
If they get out the play, if they get into
if they get into the play-in and they wind up playing the Suns, and he gets strapped, it'll look away, regardless.
What if they play Utah?
I think it could be. Utah has played good defense too. They surprised. I'm like, oh dang, Utah winning off shooting threes, but they play
their perimeter defense is really good.
But their perimeter defense is really good. And then you got
Gobert in the center, so you can.
And playing in Utah is never like easy. I don't know what it is. It's just not. So I think he's gonna have a tough way to go because nobody's expecting him to do anything, but they're expecting him to play up to a certain standard that might be hard to play up to
against the competition that's probably going to play. Yeah, right. That makes sense. My disappointing is actually going to be from the same game. From that team, Utah. I'm actually going to think most disappointing is going to be Donovan Mitchell. And I say this not because I think he's not going to show up particularly. He missed like the last 2-3 weeks because of that ankle injury. Now to just rush you into playoffs where it's high intensity. Off the rip, I don't know. First of all, I don't think Utah is going to make it that far, to be honest with you. I think they're going to be one of those teams where you see them have number one, and they're going to team that exit first or second round real early like the Hawks did,
years back.
Yeah, years back. I think it's going to be something like that. So I think I think he's gonna struggle just because of being rusty, and then I'm thrusted into trying to match 40 points from Steph potentially,
right?
Or go up against the Lakers, LeBron and AD or something like that.
And honestly,
this is a lot.
Rushing him back the way the Jazz played the Warriors recently against Steph,
they lost that game.
If Donovan is not healthy enough to be that bulldog on defense, it might open it up for Steph. So it's like a catch-22. Like you rush him back because you need his offense.
Who can score with Steph on Utah? Nobody. The only person they got, the crazy thing is, the only person they got to score with Steph probably Jordan Clarkson, because he'll get you like 25 on the bench real quick. Right. But they don't have. That's what I'm saying. That's why I think they're going to struggle. Just because he might be a little rusty, and then you gotta try to match Steph, who's on fire. Like, it's just gonna be tough.
And y'all got an expectation to live up to.
Exactly.
You're not Bron.
Exactly.
You're not Bron. You can't come in. You can't. You're gonna get killed if you come in the game thinking that you can ease your way back. Like, nah,
it ain't gonna work like that. So we got who gonna be Dose is the point. Who will be the breakout star? We got all of that figured out as far as what these teams go. Who do you think is gonna be the Cinderella team? Team that just, find a way to make it through.
I don't think it's the Heat, like they was last year.
I don't think it's the Heat.
And I wanted to see how they would look with Oladipo, like in the playoffs. But that's dumb. This team intrigues me. I don't see them. All right. The Blazers intrigue me. Right?
Every year they do this.
And so do the Nuggets. But with the Nuggets, what I'm really intrigued to see is what does Michael Porter Jr. do? Because
he's been hooping.
Him hooping in the playoffs is going to change a lot of things.
He could be a breakout star candidate too.
Jamal Murray got the ACL thing. He might come back, and now Michael Porter Jr. is, he's the guy with Jokic. And that might change everything, and he might look for a contract. But I think a lot can change with how MPJ plays.
That's true. He get his money, show what he really worth. Remember, this is a transformation for him. He went from last year.
Yeah.
Coach stopped playing him certain moments because he felt like he didn't know what he was doing. His IQ on the court wasn't all the way there.
Right.
So he would get benched after even having 15 straight because missing assignments or he not playing hard or whatever. And now to see him take that leap this year is beautiful to watch. And he could definitely. That could definitely be one where they see what that Denver do because it'll be on him.
West is crazy, man. Honestly,
West is crazy. My Cinderella team, probably, because it's tough. Because I'm looking at these teams that potentially make it, and you're looking. Do the Lakers count? They the 7th side. Oh, they the 7th seed, right? So all right. So if I'm looking at potential teams that could probably be a Cinderella team, I'm going with Atlanta. And I go with Atlanta because if they can get past the Knicks, their next matchup could be potentially... No, in fact, no, I'm not going to Atlanta because if they win... Yeah, I'll go to Atlanta because if they win, their next matchup probably be the Sixers because I think one plays 4. Damn. I think the next round. I think one plays 4. Do I got that right? Does one play 4 and then 2 play 3?
One plays.
I think one plays 4 after. I'm talking about the second round.
Yeah.
Second round, I think one plays 4. The one out of 4 and 5.
Yeah.
And then So I think.
Oh wow.
I think 6 is through. But if it's any first round team, you might be able to get.
They hit.
You could probably beat the Sixers.
And shout out to Nate McMillan.
Yes.
He took over, and this is where they should have been.
And they stacked team. Yeah. Bogdanovich can get you 20. John Collins is inconsistent, but he give you 15. Clint Capella comes out of nowhere and gets you 20 and 20 on random games. Out of nowhere. You have Gallinari, who's a fire starter off the bench. You have players that can actually, you got DeAndre Hunter. He's coming off an injury, but still he's good, solid piece. You got Trae Young. You got pieces where they could probably make some type of noise. And I only call them Cinderella team because if they get past the first round, I'm not expecting them to beat the Sixers, but if they even push it to 7 games or 6 games, that's a win.
Yeah.
It's a win. That's a win. So, and they can potentially, God willing, Sixers are one injury away No, I mean, hopefully it don't happen, but Sixers are one injury away from being out the playoffs or whatever.
And that will get lost in the context. Like, if they go on, like, if a team that beat the Sixers with an injury and they go on, catch momentum, catch fire, like, and beat another team, it's not necessarily going to get, that'll kind of get lost.
I'm just saying, like, I'll probably think the Hawks. I mean, I'm thinking it's likely, but if I had to pick a team, I'd probably go there. And, as far as teams, probably won't do one for each conference because it's difficult when it comes to this side. So who you think, the money-making question, what people want to know, who going to win finals? Who you got in the finals?
I got the Nets.
You got the Nets?
Healthy Nets.
I got the Nets too. If they're healthy, yeah, I got them too.
Versus a healthy Lakers.
And who you got winning? Exactly. I got the Nets, man.
I got the Nets.
And
I got the Nets.
I rock with the Lakers, heavy. But from my understanding of basketball, I have seen KD, Kyrie, and Harden on 3 separate teams. I've seen them in games where they were by themselves. I've seen them in games where they had less help. You can't do nothing with them. Not one player. And if I try to match up the Lakers, who they gonna guard, like who's gonna guard KD? You could say, oh, I'm gonna put Bron on KD. You know how much energy Bron might have to exhaust to try to guard KD, and he's 36, and try to score assists and match him. I don't think he could be able to do that at 36 no more, man. You could put AD on him, but AD might get quick foul trouble and sauced up. AD already said the hardest for him to guard is KD.
The Lakers, others, I don't know if they're powerful enough. Like,
they're not strong on to win. Lakers ain't strong on to win like that.
If Harold has a good series, yes,
he
that's
barely
great.
Play
but
now.
Is he?
He barely play now.
Is Drummond, like you said,
foul trouble? Yeah. Well, if the Nets go small, he's non-existent then.
Kuzma is a very like. I could do a study on Kuzma, like based on how he's gonna play, based off like a great front runner, right? But the Lakers not a front runner in the series.
Yeah.
Like, so none of that. That's I don't know what Kuzma.
Who on Kyrie? Schroeder?
Kyrie got something left for Schroeder.
Yeah,
he coming up with the bag on above the rim. He got something for Schroeder. Like,
he ain't like they already got smoke with each other. So
they got smoke.
Like, come on, like who? It's like I'm saying. So when I'm looking at these squads, like I'm trying to pick matchups. Like who gonna guard Harden, man? Who gonna guard Harden? Pope is gonna get sauced up. Like 2 quick fouls. You gonna put Wesley Matthews on?
Russo's coming into guard.
No, Bruce got killed. Like
y'all ruined the playoffs. The Nets by signing Harden, y'all ruined the league.
They getting sauced
Cancel
up.
21.
They getting sauced up, man. I cannot see anybody being a healthy Nets team. I mean, I feel like people put too much stock into like, yo, they didn't play together. I'm like, dog, you see who they got?
Some people don't.
You see who they got? That's my belief. I mean, I could be totally wrong. If they lose, that's good for me. My team. Sixers got a better road to get to the finals. I hope they do lose. Right. I can't see it. I mean, I can't see it. You got a squad with 3 of the top scorers of all time. 3 of the top 10 scorers of all time. Legit. 3 of the top most skilled players of all time on that squad. Like, how are you supposed to be? They all can do the same things.
The last time Harden wasn't the best player on the team, when he was on OKC, he was a crazy closer though. So like they was down versus the Spurs when OKC went to the finals. If I'm not mistaken, OKC was down 2-0 to the Spurs. They won 4 straight. A lot of those games, Harden closed. So like he's not better than KD. You can throw a toss up him and Kyrie, but like he's now different. He's now in a different role to where all that crazy stuff he be doing in Houston during the regular season, he could do that in the playoffs.
And he having fun.
Like, regular season Harden is crazy. So regular season Harden with playoff KD. I don't know. Y'all ruined it.
I just feel like when I just feel like you can't. I don't know why people don't talk about them as a big. Like an unfair big 3. I feel like the media
way unfair.
I feel like the media slacks on, how they look at them compared to the Heat super team. Like this is super team. I feel like when it comes to the Nets, they be kind of quiet. Right? It's not as loud. I'm like, yo, they worse than the Heat. They worse. Like, what you mean? They barely played together and they almost got the first best record in the East.
Yo, they were taking turns.
just scoring 40, 50.
Look, all right,
like,
so
come on,
for this stretch, we gonna go with them.
This stretch, we gonna go with them, and they win. Like, they beat every top team. Like, I don't know. I feel like they gonna get, if they get to the finals, that's a win.
And I don't know if they have a hyperbolic chamber because they need that LeBron. They need underdog Bron.
They need Bron
on the Cavs.
They need Bron that showed up for that one game against the 2018.
Yeah,
they had 51
that's what they need every game.
They need that. Yeah,
they need him every game. Plus, we need an AD that we ain't seen. We need 60 and 20 AD that we seen in the regular season.
They need
we need that, and we need crazy Andre Drummond. Y'all need Marcus Morris to be a bully. Like, he gotta be talking crazy to KD.
That they need AD to offset KD, which is a lot. They need AD to make it super difficult on KD while also dropping at least 25 a game. So you need him to block his shots. You need him to maybe frustrate him a little bit, and you need.
And is he healthy enough to do that? He gotta be Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah,
like that's how he gotta play in that series.
And Harden, you need Wesley Matthews, somebody to really stay in front of him, but that means it's really there. Kyrie, you need. I feel like Kyrie, he gets into a point where, like, I never feel like he scores in the flow of the game. I feel like he makes his points. Mm-hmm. Like, he just takes them when he wants to take them. I don't feel like it's a flow. I feel like you might see him take 6 shots straight, might pass the next 2, take another 4. Like, it's not like a, like, you know what I'm saying? You just need to hope he missed. Like, you need to hope he missed. That's all I can say. But you got a lot of dudes who have a chip on their shoulder.
Right.
Kyrie want to beat Bron. Mm-hmm. KD wants to beat Bron. Harden wants to win. Mm-hmm. You got 3 dudes who hungry as hell. Right. I just don't see how you're gonna, stop them. I'm trying to think where the Lakers have the advantage. They have the advantage in the post as big man, but you trust giving it to Andre Drummond.
Andre Drummond has to basically just go out there.
And that's don't got no
just
big
beat
man.
Dennis Rodman, because you're not getting the ball, not passing you the ball.
They can't guard pick and rolls either. Like, what are you gonna really? I don't need you to just rebound. I get AD to just rebound. Like what you gonna do? Because that's their weak point. They're not big down there. Like, they only have DeAndre. You gonna put Blake down there? Blake gonna get killed. Right. Like, so I mean, who else are gonna put down there? Like, you gonna put KD down there? Like, KD gonna get out like. That's what I'm saying. So, like, when it come there, like, what you gonna do? I can't see. The Lakers need role players to step up. They need Schroeder to get 15. Yep. They need Harold to get 15. They need Caruso to get 10. Mm-hmm. They need, hopefully, Tucker can come in, because I feel like the rest of them going to get in foul trouble. So they need Tucker to come in at the
see if he can emerge
and guard KD really good or guard Harden really good. Right. That's the X factor. They need Tucker to be able to guard Harden. Right. Or Kyrie,
and
efficient enough
for that to happen.
Because Caruso can't.
You can't wait till you need him. They got to start playing him from the first series. To establish.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's the only angle I can see they get. The role players got to kill it, and if they beat that Nets team, LeBron might retire. I feel like it's nothing else. It's nothing else you need to prove. Like,
I know you want to play with your son. But maybe you come back that year. But this would be a ride off.
Yeah,
this would be a ride
off. Like just.
Damn, that would be crazy.
That would be crazy. That would be like crazy. Send off. Like, yo, I'm done. Like, yeah, that's a send off. Probably won't, because he's like, damn, I went back to back. Let me try for the 3-peat. Right. But whatever. But this is where we feel like the playoff predictions, early predictions. Let y'all see where we going. Who y'all got winning? Who y'all got think gonna be the breakout player? All the topics, categories we covered. Let us know what y'all think about it. Like and subscribe if you like the content. Another episode, let's talk about it. Peace.